What if I told you that one of the most defiant and, I guess, morally unshakable heroes in American literature is now basically used as the ultimate insult, like a slur for cowardice?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's honestly one of the most profound literary injustices in history. And to figure out exactly how that happened, we have to go way back to 1852.
Right, so welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing an essential insights overview for you and your students. We are taking this stack of historical notes on Harriet Beecher Stowe's classic, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and just stripping away the myths.
Exactly. This is perfect for exploring how historical fiction drives real-world change.
Our mission today is to really uncover how this single work of fiction didn't just tell a story, but indicted an entire nation.
Yeah, and to understand why this book hit society like a meteor, you have to look at Stowe's daily reality. I mean, she was living in Cincinnati, right across the Ohio River from Kentucky.
Oh, so she's right on the border of a slave state.
Exactly. She was literally watching the brutality of slavery from her window. But the actual trigger, the thing that made her finally put pen to paper, was the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850.
Right, but there were laws about slavery before that, obviously. Why did this specific act make her so furious?
Because it completely erased the concept of an innocent bystander. The 1850 Act legally mandated that Northerners in free states had to actively participate in capturing escaped slaves.
Wait, actively participate?
Yeah. If you lived in Ohio and saw a runaway, you were legally required to help turn them in. So it forced everyday citizens into direct complicity. You couldn't ignore the moral compromise anymore.
Wow, so she just channels that absolute outrage into a novel. And looking at the sources you sent, the numbers are just staggering.
300,000 copies sold in a single year.
Which is basically a massive viral internet moment for 1852. I mean, she gets fan mail from Leo Tolstoy, a thank you note from Queen Victoria, and then there's that legendary greeting from Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, right, the famous, "So you're the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war."
Right. But I mean, it's probably apocryphal, right? Like, can a novel really spontaneously generate a civil war? Was it the spark, or did it just drop into a powder keg that was already smoking?
Oh, definitely the latter. I mean, the powder keg was built on decades of these really fragile political compromises.
Yeah.
But what Stowe did was bypass the abstract political debate entirely. She weaponized fiction to force readers to just confront the immediate, visceral human tragedy of the institution.
But just showing the horrors wasn't enough, right? She needed a protagonist whose sheer humanity would basically bankrupt the entire system. And I think that brings us to the tragedy of how popular culture completely hijacked her main character.
Oh, the transformation of Uncle Tom is just wild. If you actually read Stowe's original text, Tom is this dignified, deeply committed Christian, and he actively defies his master's will when it threatens his morals.
He literally chooses to be beaten to death rather than reveal the location of two escaped women, right?
Yes, he is practically a martyr.
So how do we get from that, this symbol of ultimate unyielding resistance, to Uncle Tom being a slur for someone who is subservient? It's like a complex hero's origin story getting completely erased by a terrible, watered-down movie adaptation.
Well, it's actually far more malicious than just a bad adaptation. The sources detail how, in the decades after the Civil War, there was an active propaganda campaign through what were called Tom shows.
Tom shows?
Yeah, they were incredibly popular, highly melodramatic minstrel stage adaptations, and they systematically stripped away Tom's defiance, his intellect, his spiritual strength.
Oh, so they deliberately rewrote him into a caricature just to make white audiences feel better.
Precisely. They created this subservient, shuffling stereotype that basically pacified post-war white guilt. I mean, it completely inverted Stowe's authorial intent.
That rewriting of history actually perfectly highlights Stowe's original point in the book, though, which is that no one's hands are clean, because she didn't just point a finger at Southern plantation owners, did she?
Not at all. She set a massive rhetorical trap for her Northern readers, too.
Yeah, and she executes this through two brilliant foil characters. First, you have Augustine St. a Southern slaveholder, but he's not blind to the evil of it.
Right. He openly admits his system is loathsome. He even compares it directly to how the English aristocracy exploits the lower classes.
Which is a wild admission for a Southern character. And then she pairs him with his cousin, Miss Ophelia, who is from the North.
Yes, and Ophelia is politically opposed to slavery. She talks a really big game about abolition, but she admits to being deeply personally repulsed by Black people. She literally shudders at the thought of even touching a Black child.
That contrast is so sharp. It's Stowe basically forcing the reader to look in the mirror. She's telling her Northern audience, look, political opposition to slavery does not equal moral superiority if you still harbor deep-seated prejudice.
It's such an uncomfortable truth, and she just doubles down in the conclusion of the book. She outright attacks Northern merchants.
Right, pointing out that they are actively financing and profiting off the slave trade, basically treating human souls purely as capital.
Exactly. Nobody gets a pass, and it's why this text remains so vital to analyze in class today. It demonstrates that the entire American system, from top to bottom, was complicit.
Yeah, it really proves how historical fiction isn't just about, escaping into the past. It's about forcing a society to confront its deepest, most profitable hypocrisies. And that's exactly what you and your students are digging into with this text.
It truly is a lasting testament to the power of literature to actually shift the public conscience.
Totally. So we'll leave you with a final thought to ponder as you bring this into your classroom. If Uncle Tom's Cabin was the uncomfortable mirror America desperately needed to look into back in 1852, what medium or what specific story is holding up the mirror to our society's blind spots today?